Hey Sunrise, it's Andrew here with your small group questions for this week as we look into Genesis 25, 19 through 34. So right as we open up this text, we come to a new generation. It opens the generation of Isaac now. So we'll have our new patriarch that will come front and center, and into it a new family as Jacob and Esau are born into our text. So some of the first things that really hit us as we open this text is the introduction of Isaac and Rebekah and their struggles with barrenness. So again, barrenness becomes this picture that we see in Scripture, and into it the solution being God. But in this text, it's a little different. So in both cases in our text, prayer actually becomes a very important theme at the introduction to our text. So one is Isaac's prayer and then Rebekah's prayer. What does prayer in this text teach us about these new patriarchs? How does that contrast with what we've seen in Abraham's life? And also a little bit, if you're looking forward, how does that look different than what's to come in their children's lives? What does that tell us about Isaac and Rebekah? And as we progress through, we have this picture of prayer. We have the prediction of God answering their prayers. Then into it we have this prophecy or this oracle about Jacob and Esau in the midst of her struggles of pregnancy. Now, when you first read it, what comes to mind from this prophecy about God? What does this tell us ultimately about God and how God works? Because as we work through this text, we're going to see two different men portrayed. Esau will be portrayed one way as this manly man, this hunter, and Jacob will be much more the laid-back, contemplative, hangs out in tents, becomes a herdsman. Very much the peaceable man becomes the picture. What's the importance, A, of the prophecy, and then what is the importance of the characters themselves being described? Why does the text show us that they are opposite people? They're very different brothers. Then into this, of course, we see this contrast of Jacob being loved by Rachel, Esau being loved by Isaac in this family dynamic. So in this, what do you pick up on the family dynamics and play in this text and how that can cause issues? And ultimately, again, as we see God's working all things out for his eternal purposes in this text, we then come to the stew. That Esau will sell his birthright for lentil soup. So again, what does this tell us about Esau? What does it tell us about Jacob? Again, just revealing some of their character and ultimately showing how God uses these events to bring about his purposes. Again, so a lot of this we see that character, God uses sinful choices, sinful actions to bring about his purpose. And so how does that play itself out in this text? And again, as we look forward, we continue to see some of this play out in who Jacob is and who Esau is, and the family struggle. And all of it coming back to that very beginning, that oracle that started our text. So hope that you'll spend some time in it, think about some of these things as we move into this new narrative, as we quickly move into Isaac and Rebekah, and then move into focusing on Jacob and Esau and their struggle, as we see will become a foundational point of not just Genesis, but the rest of the Old Testament and a little bit into the New. Hope you'll spend some time in this text. Can't wait to worship with you guys on Sunday.